our last group, I am now being joined by a lot of excited educators in the room that I'm in. And so we have the chill room. And Dr. Barnwell, I'm going to let you introduce all of your team and share about how you created a more welcoming space, because that was one of the things that you had surveyed your students about. And they had shared that, over resoundingly, that some of the students at school did not feel welcome, and you created this chill room to address what you had heard from your students. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Barnwell and her team, and we are looking forward to hearing this.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We have with us today myself, Dr. Barnwell. I've been principal here at Alfred I. DuPont Middle School for the last 14 years. We have online today Miss Leonora Harrell. She's our assistant principal. Miss Madison Lane, our English language arts teacher, and Deja Stevenson, our social studies teacher. And it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Miss Stevenson. I want to just give some background information. Our story is very similar to the Southside story that you heard from former Principal Crady. We are an international business and world language academy. We have roughly 600 students here at DuPont. 29% of our student population are English language learners. At the time that we started this city year work, we had a program for students with emotional and behavioral disabilities, and also a pre-early college program and a dual language Spanish program. But the interesting thing about DuPont at the time that we got into our city year NSI change work is it was also a time when we had just received the designation of school turnaround. We had gotten the lowest grade that the school has ever received in its history. So we just received our first D grade coming in from COVID. And so we were under state monitoring for the next 2 years. And so it was a very difficult year to come back in and try to navigate, but we needed to really kind of get a pulse on how our students were feeling when they came back from COVID and walking into now we're at D school. Now we have all of this pressure. We've got to make sure that we move the school grade. So there was just pressure all around. And so we looked at our 5 essentials survey, which was our school climate survey. And in looking at that survey, we started to see that our students were not feeling a sense of connectedness. There was not a lot of trust between the student, from student to student or from student to teacher. And so our students really didn't have a sense of belonging. And so that was a big concern for us. So when we engaged in the redesign work, we thought, why not marry what we're doing with the city year change work, marry that with this redesign, and see if we can find a way to elevate student voice and create a bigger sense of belonging. Because the students were telling us that they did not trust the teachers, they did not have a great relationship. The things that we thought were important to them were not important. And so we wanted to just go about the business of trying to figure out how we can create that sense of belonging, increase our attendance rate, and just build trust in our building. And so with that, I'm going to pass the conversation off to Ms. Harrell, and then you will hear from Ms. Stevenson and Ms. Lane.
Good afternoon. So we wanted to know what would make the students feel welcomed. Okay, Ms. Stevenson, the next one. We followed up with the connectedness survey to specifically know what the students were looking for. What were they looking for in the classroom to feel welcomed? And we got some really good responses from our students. And we have them on this slide. They were looking for a classroom when they walk in. They wanted posters on the wall. They wanted their teachers to they didn't say small group, but it was more so of help them with things that they weren't good on. A clean classroom, a good teacher, a safe environment. They wanted engagement. They wanted routines, good student behavior. Go ahead, Ms. Stevenson. So like Dr. Barnwell said, we wanted to kind of marry this work. We included this in our lead walkthrough strategies. We did classroom field trips amongst the teachers. We shared the students' responses with the teachers as well, so that they know what the students wanted when they walked into their classroom or how they wanted to feel. Teachers went on field trips where they visited other teachers' classrooms. They were able to look at the student engagement strategies, if teachers were doing small group what type of tier one support were students provided, like anchor charts. And after receiving we had an increase. So this was in January of 2024. We compared the PM data, and you can see it on the chart below, PM data for math, ELA, science, and social studies. We did have an increase in that data from the previous year that showed that students were more engaged in their lesson. We had we had conversations with our students. We had intervention groups as well. And I'm gonna pass it off to Ms. Stevenson for the next slide.
Sorry, I was having technical difficulties. Couldn't figure out how to turn the volume on. But so is it gonna let me go to the next? Okay, here it is. Sorry.
Now it kicks me out.
Okay, so how did we solve our problem? So to address the problems that we were having with the students feeling having them feel more welcome in the classroom, last year we did a conference week with our eighth grade students from my classes and other teachers in my cohorts classes as well. And we selected a group of students, some of them leaders, some of them not leaders, um s- to help us get to I'm sorry, give me 1 second. To survey the other students, so the sixth and seventh grade students, to ask them, hey, what are some things that you want that makes you feel more welcome? What are things that you want to see change within your school culture here at DuPont? So, sorry. On to the next one. So what we came up with was the chill room. So the students did come up with this on their own because I told them this is your project. You are doing this. You're going to be the ones to go out and do the surveys. So they created the surveys. Miss Lane also helped create the surveys as well. She did kind of detail it and tweak it. She kind of detailed and tweaked this for the students. And we did survey my fifth period class and other students as well throughout our school. What are some things that they want to see within the chill room? And the chill room is like a room for them to go during school, before school, or even during their lunchtime, a place where you can hang out and get tutoring from teachers, or even as a reward system as well. So these are some of the things in our graph that the students want: video games. So there are video games in there. I did get some donated PS4 games. I'm looking to get a Wii soon for the students. We also, because one of our issues was when the students can go to the chill room. So we're still working on the tweaks of that because we are on a 50-minute schedule. So we are trying to figure out how can we get the students in. So as of right now, it is more of on a reward basis for the students. So right now we can do it for if they do great on their DMAs or PMs for the students, or even if the teachers just wants to reward his or her class as well, without it having to be about test scores or anything else. Um, so bringing our vision to life. So again, our next sorry, bringing our vision to life is what we wanted to add into it. So, which is our the class idea. So we added a few features, which again was our the donated PS4 that we got. We bought some LED lights to go in the room, a rug. We fixed the room around. We also created Miss Lane created she's right here. She created a donors choose page for the students for us, so we can get things donated from people within the community for our room. We are still The donors choose page is still also open if anyone wants to donate.
And there's the Pac-Man in there too, or
Yeah.
the NBA. We've got like stand-up video games too, like the arcade games. It's very cool.
Yes. And then move on. So we did use a space that was already in our school, and we just we redesigned the room. So these are some before photos of the room. These are some of our after photos. We did change the room around again, the LED lights. We did get donated PS4, the children in the background playing the video games as well, because those are the video games that were in the room prior. And this is our redesign team. Our eighth graders are no longer here because they are in the ninth grade. But this is us. We did get to take one of the students with us and then at our redesign at the conference as well. And I think that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah.
Anyone has any-
I do want to add, I think for us, even beyond having a physical space for our students to collaborate with their peers or to just have a place that they can unwind and just have a great time. It was more about the process for us, giving them an opportunity to elevate their voice, to be able to say these are the things that are important to us. And I think they really appreciated being listened to. Now, what I will tell you is that at the end of last year, DuPont was recognized for having a 19% increase in our daily attendance. And so that's something we're very proud of, and we're actually flying that banner in front of the school right now. In addition to that, I think we've continued the work of giving our students an opportunity to speak and tell us about those things that are important to them. And so we've extended that work through having our anti-bullying campaign, and we've also started a peer-to-peer mentoring program. And so we're really excited that our students are engaging. They want to talk to us, and I think that was huge for us. And we are no longer in turnaround status, so we were able to create a space where our students feel nurtured. They feel like they can connect with their teachers and their administrators, and so that's something we're very excited about. But again, I think it was more important to involve them in the process as opposed to, yes, this room is here now. Now, what else can we do next? But having the kids to lead and drive that work. And I think that's it.
I agree. It was very much so. I'm sorry. It was very much so about the journey getting there. You know, the destination is beautiful, but it still is very much so about the journey. And, you know, I want to build on what Ms. Stevenson said about how this room is still evolving. It's still a very young project in our school. And again, the students that designed it last year, now they're all in high school. So this year, there can be more of a focus on, okay, we can get sixth and seventh graders that can continue to evolve this project, getting their hands on it this year. And, you know, the eighth graders as well, but this has just been such a wonderful process to do with the students. It was a privilege.
Yeah, I think one thing this really nicely demonstrates is that, you know, part of connection is connection to a place, but it's not just like the physical place, but it's a place where the students know they're heard, right? That's a place in itself, and that's really what you said. It was that journey of listening and including the students is what really created the connections to the place, as much as just like it's a better physical place. So I think it's a very nice example of how connection to place is about a place where you feel like you could be heard and be participate. That creates the connection as much as the physical appearance. So yeah.
Absolutely. And also, while, you know, they mentioned and Southside mentioned as well, we have this very new schedule. This is also very young for us. We have this very new schedule system, and all of us are kind of navigating, okay, how do we manage our time with such short blocks to us? So, you know, I can really see in the next few months us being able to nail down more so, okay, now that we're more comfortable with our new schedule, it's been half a year, now we can focus on these. I don't even want to call it an extracurricular, because it is so important to us to create the student involvement. But now we can focus more on, okay, now that we've got the meat of our schedule done, let's figure out how to get the fixins.